Welcome. Let's get to it. We have Alicia Keys. A few days ago, mentioned that her son was in the nail salon with her, a 4-year-old boy, and he wanted his nails painted and he wanted rainbow colors. And she told him yes. And he got those colors, rainbow colored nails. And she ended up saying that he then said he didn't want the colors anymore. And she asked him why. And he said, because people won't like it. And she said that bothered her, Miss Alicia Keys. And she said that she thought about how judged we are. And she told him that, no, you made a decision. You should stick with it. That's your decision. And and she said, besides that, a lot of men wear nail polish. And she said, then he felt better. And as we could see, Swiss, which is the father of the child, which is Alicia's husband, agreed that he was free to his son was free to do his own thing basically and be creative. And she called that creative. Alicia Keys called that creative herself. Um, she said, "Why do we have to be judged?" Basically, why do we have to be judged? We're too judgmental. We need to let people be free and let them be um, explore themselves, explore both sides, which is female and male. I'm sorry, masculine and female, masculine and feminine energy. She says, Alicia says that masculine and feminine energy is in all of us, and we should be able to explore those things. Now, there's so many things wrong with this. First of all, this is a boy. He's a boy for a reason. Boys have a different uh, they have different dosages of hormones. They have more testosterone than girls. That's why boys are more active. That's another thing. Boys are more active and they learn hands-on more so than girls. That's why boys act up in class more than girls most of the time, because they're more active. They have more testosterone, which is a chemical that is which is a hormone that makes you more active, makes you more physical. And the boys are supposed to be that way. That's why I, I don't subscribe to um, medications they put boys on to make them act better or to make them more subtle and slow them down because boys are supposed to be active. They are the protectors. They are the warriors. They are the men. They grow into the men. So the men must be protectors and warriors and hunters and things like that. And basically the one who shields the women of the family, of the tribe. So why would you then tell him that that's cool? Um, we do get it that we are judged. Yes, we are judged. But even with that, it's certain judgment that's correct. That's right. And the reason I say that is because a little boy putting on nail polish in our society, in our culture, means something. It doesn't all the time necessarily mean that he's gay, but it does mean that he's different. And the first thing people say, yes, it's okay to be different. Yes, it's okay to be different, but it brings a certain type of attention to him. We know that rainbow stands for um, homosexuality. That's what rainbow colors represent in this society. So he's attracting that energy, even if he's not. And she said he made that choice. He made that choice. But think about this children make choices, even if he made the choice. children would make the choice to go play out in the street, in the dangerous streets. Children would do that. Children would run. A 4-year-old boy would run out in the middle of the street without looking both ways. A 4-year-old boy would make the choice of playing in an ant bed. A 4-year-old boy would make the choice of playing with a stick, swinging it while his cousins next to him or his little brothers next to him, and hit his little brother. There's a lot of decisions and choices that children make, not necessarily something they should be doing. Because in our culture, there are messages sent by certain decisions we make. Since when do you let your 4-year-old child make his own decisions for everything? For everything. So we're getting to a point, ladies and gentlemen, where it's it's being pushed upon young men and women to where they're blurring the lines between genders. It's some type of agenda that the media is pushing, and the weak-minded are grabbing onto that, saying that's freedom. Uh, it's freedom to do what? To confuse a child? Like one of the comments said, okay, you call this freedom, but what happens when he gets free? This is somebody who commented under her post, under Alicia Keys' post. What happens when he wants freedom to express those feminine energies on another boy? Will you then be okay with that? That's something to think about. So when will it stop? Dwayne Wade's son is free to go to gay parades. He's free to be gay. He's at a young age. He's free to go to a parade where men are naked, where men are showing body parts. Even if he was heterosexual, that's not something a child should see. That's what I'm saying. This thing is being pushed. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Boys are boys for a reason. You have more mass. You have more testosterone as a boy for a reason. You are the defender. You are the protector. You are the one who goes out and handles business and bring the food back for the tribe. You are the warrior for your family. So when you give all these boys women tendencies and allow them to paint their nails and allow them to get eyelashes, allow them just because they wanted to, it's sending a message culturally in this culture, in this culture here. It's sending a message. It's telling the people. It's making a radar, and its signals are going off to the little boys that are gay or may have gay tendencies. So then you're basically drawing the attention of gay energy towards him, of homosexual energy towards him, by letting him parade around with these things. Um, so it's vital that we look at this for what it is. It's an agenda, and if you're weak-minded enough, you'll fall for it. You'll say, "Well, it's freedom." Well, a child isn't free to do everything it wants to do. So why is this? Girls paint their nails for a reason. It's feminine. Boys should not be doing feminine things because they're not. They have a feminine side, yes, but that feminine side is to take care, is to be gentle with children, to be gentle with girls, to be gentle with people, older people, to be gentle with even other boys who basically, need that at certain times. We all should be gentle at certain times. Being able to be careful, to being able to be um, empathetic. So we all have that female side, that feminine side, to be empathetic and be caring and gentle with people who need it. But don't go overboard. Don't be over feminized and say that your son can be over feminized because it's freedom. That's not freedom. That is confusion to him. That's why he came to himself and said, "People are not going to like this." He perceived that for a reason. It's not that people aren't just going to like it. He knows the type of attention. He can feel the type of attention it's going to draw. That little boy can feel that, and so we have to be careful. Um, there was something else on that. These Little boys are becoming men. So that's why the women don't have a lot of people to date. We talk about women. We talk about they don't have good men to date. We talk about the guy can't not we but women talk about the man can't be a man. He's not a man. Who raised him? Like K Michelle said, Michelle says you can't raise no man, and she can't find a good man. She says, and there are no good men. She says, K Michelle, we back on that because the women are raising them. Because the women are raising them to be men. And why is this boy in the nail shop with his mother? He should be with his father, learning how to be a man. Even if he's in the nail shop with his mother, she should teach him, no, this is not for you. This is not for little boys. You're a man. This is not for little boys. Nail polish is not was not made for boys. Now they may have a boy flavor or a boy a boy color, but it wasn't made for boys initially. That's the thing. You're misplacing something, putting it on him, and he feels that energy. That's why he said that. But the mother wasn't even aware of it. That okay, this is misplaced energy. He can have his feminine side, he can have his feminine energy expressed without going to paint his nails or to get eyelashes or to put makeup on. Will you then give him makeup and eyelashes if you want that, lipstick if you want that, a dress if he wants that? How far will you go? Just how far would you go? So this is the thing. It's an agenda, and if you're weak-minded enough, you'll fall for this freedom thing. It's not about freedom. It's about placement. It's about who we are. You were made a young man. You have more testosterone. You have more energy than young girls. Naturally, like I said, naturally it's a study where young boys will play with toys. You can give a young girl and young boy the same toy, and because of their energies inside of them, they will play with the toy different ways. Girls will find a way to make that toy a baby, or to make it seem like she's combing a girl's hair, or boys will find a way to make that toy a weapon because he's more masculine. She's more feminine. It's already built in them. So for you to confuse him with that this early on, he's a sponge. He's just open to whatever you put in him. So when you say he made this decision from things he's either seen or things he saw you do it. Basically, if he see you do it at that age, they're sponges. They're just gonna react to what they see. So the decision he made is to do what his mom was doing. But you weren't being woman enough to say, look, this is for women. This is for women. This is not for young boys. Even a young girl would do what her dad does if she was with him at that age because they're sponges. It's a defense mechanism to for a child to repeat what their parents do for survival, to know what to eat, what not to eat, what to do in certain situations because their minds are a sponge at that age. They're a clean slate. They're whatever they see. That's what children are at that age. They just regurgitate it. So, like I said, the lack of men, the lack of quality men, the lack of manly men, the lack of men that'll protect the family, protect the community, is because of women like Alicia Keys seeing her son ask for something that's feminine, overly feminine, and feeling like that's freedom. So when you need a man to change the tires, so when he's 18, 19, he's with a girl who needs him to change the tires. He's on a date. He needs to defend this girl. You know, um, things that men do naturally, and he doesn't do it. And this girl complains about there are not enough manly men. Men are not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not being real men. You can blame Alicia Keys for that. You can blame women like Alicia for that, because Alicia, this is one thing about it. You have to see things for what they are fundamentally. He's fundamentally a boy. He's fundamentally has more testosterone. So he's going to express more of that naturally. So when you confuse him and let him do things that are naturally feminine, it 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 goes against who he is naturally. And he picks it out by saying people aren't going to like it. And really what he was saying was it was uncomfortable for him. Even though he made the decision, he realized the error of his ways. It was a really an error that he made because he started to realize the energy that comes with it, and that came with painting his nails. And then at that, you painted that rainbow color, which means homosexuality in this culture. So, ladies, you're raising these men for other women. He needs to be able to check the breaker box, to check when the lights go out. He needs to be able to look at cars and see things about cars, and the fundamental things, changing tires, um, what do you call those things? Uh, 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 Spark plugs, things like that, fuses, things like that. Boys should be able to do that, and women are going to look for them to do that as men. So why confuse them with feminine things and screw all that up and make him an antenna for other feminine men to be attracted to him, and then confuse him even more by turning his desire towards them? This has been another look at the big picture. Appreciate you listening.